I always wanted to do something in the medical field, but I didn't want the everyday 9 to 5, same stuff. I wanted variety.
It's got to be almost everything. I haven't quite been keeping a list, but it's been a lot, and it's been a lot of calls over those years. A lot of people come into this newly with the expectation that everything's, going to be pulling people out of burning buildings and saving lives every day, and some days it won't. Some days it'll be very boring. Some days it will be very challenging, either emotionally or physically.
Responding to people's emergencies, some little, some big. This cabinet is going to be more of your trauma stuff, so you get a laceration, gunshot wound, stab wound. We'll use stuff from that cabinet.
There's a lot of things that have to happen in a very short amount of time.
The adrenaline, when things are very high stress.
I like pressure. I do good under pressure, and having those opportunities to really kind of make a difference in the highest pressure of scenarios, it's hard to beat.
A lot of the times these people believe that it's the worst day of their lives, so they have a calm sense when we arrive. That also makes you feel good because you're the light at the end of somebody's tunnel.
Probably most frequently is things like car accidents, falls, just minor traumatic events. Outside of that, we go to a lot of like chest pain, abdominal pain, general illness, general unwellness.
This is what we will take into people's residence. It's basically a mini ambulance. We intubate patients, we can start IVs, we give medications. If your heart is in a rhythm that is unstable, we can shock your heart and try to get it back into a normal rhythm. This is what we use to monitor patients. Their heart rate, their blood pressure, their oxygen saturation.
Thankfully, not as frequently do we handle like the shootings and cardiac arrest and things like that. Those are a lot more infrequent.
Sometimes it's just sitting there talking to a patient to make them feel better. Sometimes it's doing nothing at all and just being a listening ear.
This is what it looks like. Does it look like TV?
This is it.
This is it. Not as much like TV as you might think. Really, I like the people that I work with. We've got a very good group.
My partners, personally, are the best partners I have. I love them to death. You build a bond with them.
We're all pretty tight-knit. We're all friendly. We all spend time together outside of work. So, the camaraderie aspect certainly carries weight.
So you spend 24 hours with these people. You have no choice but to build a bond. They know some of your deepest, darkest secrets. They've been on some of these terrible calls with you, so you're able to talk to them and reflect with them.
It is almost like a familial relationship a lot of times because they're the person that you experience, in some respects, a traumatic life experience with. So you kind of have to get close to kind of get through.
A lot of the time on calls, you have such a great bond with each other that you don't even talk to each other. They know what you want, you know what they want. It's a great connection.
Very high stress calls, shootings, cardiac arrest.
You've done everything that you possibly could have done, and there's nothing that could bring them back. Having to explain this to the family is very difficult. It is obviously a very difficult time for them, but we try to be a shoulder that they can cry on.
Kids are hard, I think, for just about everybody, no matter how much time you have in.
If you made it to the hospital with that patient alive, there's definitely a bit of pride.
I would say the hardest parts are probably the most rewarding. You're kind of the answer on where that patient goes. I personally get uncomfortable being called a hero. I do know people that have done heroic things. I'm thankful to work in the company of a couple of them.
I don't believe myself as a hero. I'm just a girl doing a job.
And at the end of the day, we're people. We're people that do a job that we were trained how to do, and we do it to the best of our ability.
We're here to save somebody's life.